Alright everybody, we're on day one of creating one of my insane cosplay plans for this year of 2025. So as I said in my previous video, my first costume is Ashura from, it's either RG Veda or RG Veda. I can't remember which one. But anyway, it's a pretty old series from CLAMP. There was like an OVA way back in the day, but it originally, of course, came out as a manga, which I have all three of the omnibus, I think that's how you say it, which I know I've read some of it. In all honesty, I've forgotten what the story is. But I have all of the manga, so I really should read it. But the main inspiration for this costume is actually from an art book right here that I bought at Katsucon 2002. So that is 23 years ago is when I bought this book. It has a nice slipcover. It's a really pretty book. I have no clue if this is even still in print because it's so old. But when I got it as little, like, high school Beth, I personally fell in love with this image right here. So, as I said before, this has been on my list to cosplay for at least 10 years now. And throughout those 10 years, like, I've literally had it on my list every single year until I took a break. I think, was it 2018 or 2019? I don't remember. It was pre-COVID. But, I finally think I have gotten around to it, and I think I finally finalized my design for this costume. And I'll probably put up some of my other designs like over here. But I think what I want to do, since I didn't realize until literally like a couple weeks ago that he's not wearing a shirt, so yeah. But the first designs I did were more like Chinese, like, and I apologize if I butcher the pronunciation, like a Kui Pao or a Cheongsam type dress, you know, with like a flowy skirt below or something. And I kind of changed it up more recently to looking more like a hanfu, probably because I watched too much Apothecary Diaries. But I've always loved those, you know, those dresses. They're very flowy, and, you know, I really do like them. I did settle on the hanfu design, but I was having difficulty with that collar that he is wearing, because if he's not wearing a shirt, then it's just like a neck piece. So I don't have to do a mandarin collared dress or anything. So hopefully this shows up on screen, but I've decided to do more of a traditional like hanfu, where they have like the top like straight across here with the big flowy like kimonos over it, and then some skirts. So big flowy skirts. Hopefully this shows on camera. This is what I am planning. But I'm also trying to incorporate colors from the actual outfits that the character wears in the series, which is mostly like white, black with gold and red. So I think that because of the fabric I bought at the time when I didn't think he was naked, but now he's naked. I bought like pale yellow, like sheer fabric for it. But I think I'm going to make the top underneath white and maybe one of the layers of the skirts white. And then like the flowy, kimono panels that go below the waist, I think will be the sheer. I need to shop my patterns a little bit. I think I said in my other one cosplay video that I have making my Met Gala Rayla, when I mock up costumes, any costume, I keep the patterns that I make. So I think I have some patterns I can refer back on, because I did actually cosplay Ashura before. I did the Tsubasa Chronicles version, which I will show here. And I have some patterns I can use for that, that I did for that. I might have to resize them a bit because I am not... That costume I made in 2007 or 8, and I don't have that body anymore. I have some extra fluff, so I need to make sure they still work and adjust them as needed. But yeah, so basically I'll have to shop my patterns because I really don't want to have to buy a new pattern for it, because I'm trying to keep this, you know, looking nice but also resourceful with what I have. So I'm going to shop my fabric stash and also my pattern stash. The only reason why I'm doing the pale yellow is, like I said, I bought this fabric before I realized he did not have a shirt on, and I would prefer to use this fabric. It's a sheer... honestly, I don't know what kind of fabric it is, but it's a little sheer, as you can see. But I would really like to use this for like the kimono part and like the skirt. The problem is, I don't remember how... I think I have 6 yards of this fabric and I can't get more because I bought this so long ago. I have another fabric that's oh god, a paler yellow, which I would like to use, but it's... I don't know if you can tell, but it is really shiny and it's really slippery. Yeah, I'm hesitant to use this even though I have much more of it than the other one because it's so slippery. So, and it's also a lot shinier than I think I would want. It's also going to be a pain to iron this because it's so delicate. But I have 20 yards of this for some reason. But yes, I think the top I'm going to do will probably be white. I don't actually think I have any white satin. And if I do have white satin, I might not have enough for a skirt. So we'll see. So as far as patterns go, I do have a kimono pattern. I think for one of the skirts, I'm going to use the same pattern as I used for my Met Gala Rayla. However, that might take up a lot of fabric. But yes, this skirt takes like 5 1/8. And then for the kimono, I have a kimono pattern that's pretty decent. That is such a problematic image, but this pattern is so old. That's... Alright, so I have my design, I have some fabric, I have patterns. The next step is to do mock-ups. So I make sure not to waste my final fabrics, and that will come next. Or next. I don't know which direction this is. Okay, so I just finished the mock-up, sort of, for the bodice. I was adjusting the pattern that I have because I cut it out a very long time ago. Obviously, I am not that size anymore. So I had to add a little bit extra to the seam allowances, just based on how the pattern lines looked from what I cut out. And I think I only really need to edit the back pieces. I think I just need to add another like 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch to accommodate a zipper. So, good progress today. Yay! Alright, the mock-ups are finally done. I'm in a good spot now to start cutting everything out in the final fabrics once I get them. But yeah, so here is the mock-up. Hopefully it's in focus. So the white underdress, I had to edit the bodice pattern the most. Because the size I cut out originally was from years ago. So I just sized it up a bit, and thankfully it fit on the skirt, which is pretty big. It's the same skirt from my Met Gala Rayla and even the other Ashura I did. The only difference was I eliminated the front seam because that pattern has a seam going straight down the front and I did not want that. So I eliminated that seam And thankfully it all fits onto the bodice. Maybe not the most seamlessly, but at least it fits. For the over kimono, I did edit the pattern a little bit to give it more of a skirt, like a wider skirt to accommodate the underdress skirt, since kimonos are traditionally very straight. So yeah, there's a bit of a skirt, and it's also slightly longer than the underdress, which is what I wanted. I didn't do the sleeves because I wasn't going to edit the pattern anyway, and I didn't want to waste more fabric for sleeves that I already know how to sew in. And then I did make a decision on whether or not to do an obi or a cincher. I was originally leaning like a cincher, but when I put a cincher on it that I had made previously, I didn't like how much visual space it took up in the front, so I like the obi much better. So that will be made out of black satin, and I might add some gold embroidered squiggles on it, you know, the technical term there. But yeah, I'm going to also buy some additional things to like bedazzle it a little bit, because otherwise it will look pretty plain. And if anything, that image is not plain. It's pretty, you know, bleh. But yeah, now the fun part is ripping it all apart. So I get to do that next. Yeah. Okay, I know I said I was done with the mock-ups. I lied, apparently. So I tried everything on, and I liked it for the most part. There were some fitting tweaks I have to do on the underdress. I actually need to make the waist smaller, which I didn't think I was gonna have to do, but apparently my waist is smaller than I thought, which is good. But I also didn't like how boxy the kimono was looking. I know kimonos, like I said, are straight, like they're like tubes, essentially. And part of the problem I was having was that there was so much fabric on the top that it had to fold weird to fit everything under the obi and then have it flare out. So what I did, so this is the new side now, was I made the front panel, as you can see here, it's like really wide. Like here is the edge, and then the side seam is like over here, and then in the back, as you can see, it like has to fold over itself just to fit in the obi, and I didn't like that. So I took some fabric out of the side seams on the top, and then I added more of a skirt. So now it's a little bit more of a full skirt. You can kind of see the difference in how it's laying. I'm also probably gonna cut a little bit off, like right there, just because it's going this way too much, and I want you to see the underdress there, because I did buy some fancy lace that will peek through on the bottom. So that's where I'm at now. So, but yeah, cut fabric there. We'll probably have to cut a little bit more there. But yeah, as you can see, there's a huge difference in that there isn't as much fabric in the back, so it's not folding over itself a lot compared to here. So I like this much better. I know I keep pointing my finger, but yeah, you can clearly see like even the bottom of the skirt just looks a lot nicer now. Okay, so now I get to rip this apart. And then I get to go shopping. My favorite thing.